Hey there, my name is sjofors, and I'm also called the Price Whisperer. But who am I really, right? Well, I've run companies in different countries. I've set up joint ventures. I've done business in more than 40 countries. And I've been recognized by a number of organizations as a thought leader of various kinds. And I got this new book out. Well, today I want to talk about something that is on the, I guess the hype curve is somewhere 200%, 300%, artificial intelligence. And I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence and pricing. If you if you haven't tried artificial intelligence, you're probably one of the very few in the world. And I'm talking then about artificial intelligence like Chat GPT and several others, right? Generative Chat GPT, generative AI. But I there's also a lot of confusion about what AI actually is. So I'm not an expert in AI. We in my company we developed AI software some 12, 14 years ago maybe, and we've been using it ever since in our work. But it's just for internal use. It's not customer facing in any way. But AI have had a very long history, right? And it's been a history that's been sort of going up and down. And the first we have to realize that AI was first sort of conceptualized well as a thought, not in any way documented, but as a thought, as a concept in 1941 by a gentleman called Alan Turing. And Alan Turing was a very interesting guy. He was probably the most intelligent, or almost the most intelligent person that ever lived. And what he did, and his sort of big claim to fame, is that he led the project that eventually led to the breaking of the Enigma code during the Second World War. Germans had this unbreakable code machine, if you like, that looks like a kind of wacky typewriter that they were convinced it was completely unbreakable. Alan Turing and his team managed to break it. And this is one of the reasons that the Allies eventually won the Second World War, because they could intercept and decrypt all the German messages that went on over radio, right? Anyway, so he started to, as a thought, conceptualize AI in 1941. And then he wrote a paper that solidified the whole thought behind AI in 1950. He didn't call it AI; he called it machine intelligence, and it's maybe actually a more better word for it. Although, in fact, there is no intelligence in AI, right? And despite the word, and by the way, once Alan Turing died, and he died in 1954, cancer, I think. He was pretty young at the time, maybe 40 or something like that, 45. But anyway, it was after his death that the term artificial intelligence was coined in 1957. But the more common name, all the way up to, I would say, the last 10, 12 years ago, something like that, was machine learning, right? And that is what AI is. It is machine learning. And what he conceptualized and what he wrote about in that paper is that algorithms, software algorithms, make decisions based on whatever the input it has, right? And the brilliance, if you like, with the simplicity with AI is that it remembers those decisions, and the remembrance of those decisions become an input for next time it has to make decisions again, right? So that is the very fundamental layman's term of what AI is, right? I'm not an engineer in that respect, so it's good enough for me. The first AI software programs were written in the early 1950s, and there was no commercial need for this. So all the AI research was funded by government, and it was done by universities and so forth. And as so often with new technologies, the promise of technology was far greater than what it actually achieved. So that funding was on and off, and there were years where there was no funding at all for AI research and AI development from governments. And then somebody came up with a new idea and they got funding for another couple of years, and that didn't work as expected, and then funding dried up again. So it's been on and off all the time. I personally was involved in software sales in 1998 that was AI based, and this was very advanced audio and video analytics software, so kind of different from pricing, and it was at least 20, well, I would say it was 25 years, maybe even 30 years too early to the market. So while we sold some, we didn't sell very much, to be honest. But it was very, very interesting from a technical point of view. The first commercial software available was a speech recognition software from a company called Dragon Systems, also in 1998 or maybe 99. That was somewhat of a commercial success. Both of those came from AI research done at the computer science department at the Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, and but going back to AI and pricing, so AI can learn from what it, can record its decisions and use that as an input for next time it has to make a decision. Now, what are the inputs, right? The inputs in generative AI, such as, again, ChatGPT, which is the most well-known one, is vast amount of internet data, right? It goes out and scurs the internet and finds stuff and make decisions based on what it's find and record those decisions and so forth. In pricing, for AI to actually have any impact, it has to have that feedback loop, right? So yeah, AI can look at prices, they can look at costs, they can look at sales volumes from that a company may have, and how price and sales volume may change, but it requires prices to change. It requires customer behavior to be unchanged, and like I've said so many times in these videos, it has the flaw in that it looks at pricing as would it live in a vacuum, and pricing never lives in a vacuum. It can only, if the AI software changes the price and consequently the sales volume changes, that is a data point, right? But what the software doesn't do is that it doesn't maybe change the customer targeting and see how that changes the sales volume at different prices, right? It doesn't change it doesn't change how the company go to market, how they market, the marketing messages, the marketing channels, right? It just look at pricing, right? Now, AI in this particular respect have been used in pricing software for a very long time, right? As machine learning, right? And but again, like I said, it looks at pricing not in a holistic way, but as isolated disjoint from marketing, from changes in the marketplaces, from changes in how the company can sell, and so forth. So this is, like in any business, AI have been hyped to the nth degree as the ultimate solution for just about everything, but that's not the case, right? AI for pricing, fine, but it's a step, but it's not the ultimate step, right? Maybe sometime in the future we can have AI that takes all these various combinations of everything and therefore come up with the right price from a holistic point of view, right? Or maybe not, right? Because the other thing with having these AI algorithms as a basis for pricing is that it really only works when you have lots of transactions, right? And if you are like many companies that doesn't have hundreds of thousands of transactions every week, but maybe have, I don't know, 100, 1,000, right? It's too small a data set for to make any real effort, any real changes. I mean, yeah, of course you can do changes, but it's not enough to how should I say, to get enough confidence in that the changes are the changes that they should be. But again, the most pressing part with AI and pricing is that it looks at pricing as would it be in a vacuum, and pricing is never in a vacuum, right? And that's the big flaw, right? So as you look at pricing in your company, and AI is going to come up. I mean, the kind of AI we use creates that holistic change, that holistic approach. But it's not a tool that we make available to other people. We just use it internally. But it's still, tread carefully and don't believe the hype, and have your expectations real, and so you don't be disappointed by the result. All right. I hope this was of some value, and I'm looking forward to see you on the next episode. Thank you so much. Take care.